Okay, how's everybody doing? This is a American yoga video. I think this is a little bit, but I gotta keep it like that. It took me so long to get this set up. Okay, so now this American yoga with Pierre Durr. I'm gonna take these shoes off. I mean, it took me so long to set this up. Okay. Um, because I wanted the landscape view because of the scaling, if you remember what the scaling is going to do. And this seems to be a little bit crooked, but I don't think I want to mess with it because it took me so long to do, okay? So, because it's American yoga, like I said before, there's a disclaimer. Okay, I guess that's the way you pronounce it, disclaimer, okay? Because the things that I do in the class are it seems so easy, but it's not really easy. Because you're working with your mind and your body. I've been doing this is like the 7th or 8th, going on the 8th year. It's the 7th year, and I'm working on this eighth year now. However, the things that I've done has been from years ago, maybe 20 years ago to develop this thing. So the only thing I'm saying is last time I was supposed to do a American yoga video, and I had to do a disclaimer because just my research and the way classes and everything, it is very difficult. However, it seems like it's very easy, but it's not. So I have a video on disclaimer, okay? I only make videos for adults because of this, because it can be very trying. It seems like everything is easy. So last week I wanted to do a short disclaimer, but then I said to myself, because of the way I was doing the disclaimer, there was so many things I had to talk about. So I made a video on disclaimer. You have to search that in my channel. You're an adult. I only have adults, so that this disclaimer can actually be for everything. What I'm trying to say is, instead of me explain everything about why I'm putting a disclaimer on it, I made a video for it, okay? So your number one thing is to look at the disclaimer before really getting into these exercises. And since it's the second one, I can clarify it a little bit more. It's because the work that you do in American yoga is you use your mind and your body at the same time, okay? And don't tell me you've done it before, because you haven't. I mean, you haven't done it, you do it subconsciously, but you haven't done it consciously, okay? So that's just to give you an idea of what's happening in the class. Everybody can do it, yes, but you have to start from the beginning. That's the disclaimer, is to actually start from the beginning, okay? And that's all I have to say about the disclaimer. Like I said, the only thing I have to say now is that there's a video on disclaimer. I did it like last time, okay? Search that. It's very important to understand what's going on in the class. But you don't have to see the disclaimer if you start from the beginning. But you can watch all the videos, okay? So anyway, I had to do a class also. It's really hard to do, and a lot of things I have to do, and I'm very busy, like everybody else. And I had to do this class. It's funny because I have my whole day. Yes, these videos usually take a long time. I have my whole day planned. You know how you plan? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. And then when you get home, it's like, oh boy, and this takes longer than what you realize. I got something on the oven. So I'm gonna try and get over this thing right here, okay? So you plan everything, and then it didn't work out the way I planned it. I'm actually doing a graduate program. I'm getting prepared for that. And I wanted to spend time with that, but I didn't do some things in YouTube, and I had to end up doing them. And the reason why I have to do this American yoga is because I hold the classes in my mind, okay? It's not something that you can write about. It's just about life, about you and what you want to do and how things work. And I don't write it down because that would take hours. And then when I'm talking about it, if I come up with ideas that will help you better, and then I'm reading, it just doesn't make any sense. So this class, if everybody who knows this channel, they already know that everything is done from my heart. I don't have to read anything. I've been doing this YouTube for, I think, over a long time, very long time, and maybe it's close to 10 years when I've been actually seriously about doing videos. And this one I've been doing like 7 years. So I pretty much understand how to do my channel as far as talking is concerned. And I find it better to go over the material and know exactly what I'm going to talk about, and then just do it, Now, these things are so, today, another reason why I have to do the class is because, like I said, I hold the lessons, and this one right here has gotten so compact that I have to do it. It's just, when you have to do something, you have to do something. Now, what I want to talk about today is we're going to do a zipper. It's called a zipper. We do it from the scaling that we've learned before. We're going to do skyscraper. The zipper is going to utilize the X and the Y, scaling X and Y. The skyscraper is going to deal with the X, Y, and Z, okay? So we have X and Y, and then we have Z, okay? And I'm talking now for the people who know about the class, who've been through all the tapes. In the beginning I was able to, at least say something about what happened before, but now it's the 7th year, and it's getting close to impossible to explain what I did in the last video and what I've been working on, what we've been working on for the whole 7 years. And it almost seems like I'm speaking to people who are in the future, because it's not so much catching on, but I know it will, because it's very important, because I live my life like everybody lived their life, but only I did it differently. I always said, what is this? What is that? And then last time I didn't tell you about, but I looked at things as interfaces, okay? If I didn't understand and something didn't have a logic, it's called to me an interface. Like when you're looking at, like when I used to look at planes in the sky, and I would ask questions, why is this like this? Why is this like this? And now I call that an interface, because it's there, but it doesn't, there's a lot of questions that can't be answered, okay, that you have to find out yourself. Even when I was watching cars, I would watch the cars, and I would say, this is an interface. Before I didn't say interface, but now I can see that it's an interface. So what is an interface? An interface is something that doesn't logically stand up. You have all the logic, like for instance in painting. Okay, let's use art as far as art is concerned. Everything is logical. There's things logical in painting and singing and playing a guitar, but then you meet these things that are not logical. It's like a hole, like how can I say, what's that girl that they always talk about? The girl who went in the hole, I forgot her name. Alice in Wonderland. It's like a hole there, and it takes you to another world. And it's funny, all this is important when I'm telling you, especially for 7th year students. I remember when I was in a class, the teacher didn't really treat me that well, now that I think about it. She didn't treat me well, and I'm going to talk to you about everything, because this is how how this class is. It was really, but I stayed in a class, but it was like this professor, I'm not going to talk about the professor, I don't want anybody to check it out or anything, but I had this one professor, and of course I was the only, I'm not talking, I'm just going to tell you what happened in this class. It was really cruel. I was the only black person in the class, okay? Not that I really care. I mean, I went through a lot of things, it was no big deal. But when I would speak, the professor would say, can somebody translate that for me? And there was somebody in the class I would speak, and the other person in the class would translate to the professor what I was saying, okay? And he felt that he couldn't understand anything that I said, okay? But, I let him go, and I still treated him as if nobody else. I'm telling you this for a reason. It has to do with an interface. And then one time in class, he started playing these like cartoons, very offensive cartoons. And I just brushed it off. It's no big deal. Because I was there to get my education, and I passed this class, and I was happy with that. But the reason why I remember that class is because, and I'm not saying anything, I'm just telling you, it was just something that I went through. And it was like, it really didn't affect me whatsoever, but I just told you about it. I remember when he was talking with one of his students, and of course, I couldn't add anything, but I was sitting close to them, and I was interested in the conversation. And he was saying, because this is a linguistics class, and he said, the student was telling him, he goes, I was, I'm talking about the interface. And he said that, and this is things that linguist people who are really too interested in linguistics do. And he goes, I was studying these sentences, then I started studying words, and then I started dividing the word, okay? And when I started dividing the word, something was happening, I couldn't divide the word or something. That's what I call an interface, but of course I couldn't say anything because I know about how things go with them, or with the way he set the class and everything, that I couldn't explain my opinion. And the professor was like, oh yeah, I really do understand that. And what he was talking about was like an interface. And that's what I call an interface. And it's like when you want to do something and then you break something down, and he broke something down. It's just like somebody breaking down a molecule, okay? And they keep breaking it down and breaking it down and breaking it down. Well, when you get to a certain point, you're breaking down a word, there has to be an answer. But the thing about it is things happen. And he was talking about something weird happening while he was trying to continually break a word down. And I'm not talking about like into a syllable. He's talking about physically. And when I say physically, I mean physically, okay? Like for instance, and it's as dangerous as breaking down an atom or a molecule, okay? But you have like these things, these systems that help you and just like stop you from doing that, okay? So he couldn't do it, most likely, okay? So what I called that, because I did the same thing, and I couldn't say it to them because they wouldn't allow me into their conversation. So when you break down, what he was doing is he was trying to break down something, and if he did it the right way, he would say, wait, this is not breaking down, and then just stop. That's what I did. When I get to a place to where I can't break it down, there's some people who persist in doing that, which is not a great idea. But I looked at it as, oh, I can't break it down, okay? But it's there. It's an interface, which I didn't call an interface before. It's an interface, and I can't break this down. And I'm not talking about into syllables and into letters. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about physically breaking something down, a word down, okay? And I found out why it couldn't be broken down. Why? Because I knew how to handle the interfaces, because I always worried about interfaces. So that was important because I explained to you technically exactly what an interface is. And a lot of people do that and they go, well, oh, forget it, which is a very good idea, and just live your life. And if you wait a little while, you can maybe get some more information, okay? So that's an interface, and I told you that for a reason. Now we're going to get into the class, and hopefully it'll finish really quick. So now, remember we were doing scales. Now we're going to work on a zipper. We're going to do linoleum, and I'm going to tell, zipper, linoleum, and inklings, okay? And remember from last class, before I ended the last class, I was talking about definitions. That's another thing. When you deal with American yoga, you deal with definitions, okay? You have the word, and then you have the definition. Why is it definitions? Because you know yourself. I mean, you're exercising yourself, okay? So you don't have to say like move my leg up, and we don't talk about, you know, different body parts, but because we're in a different realm, but we don't say that because we're working with ourselves. So we just move it, okay? The definition, okay? The definition of this, So, but in American music, words are very important. Why? Because you can communicate with other people, okay? Now remember when we talked about X and Y, okay? So we have Y, X, remember? X, Y, X, Y, X, okay? Now, I want you to know something about X and Y and Z. It is not part of your realm. It is something that, it's like it's something for everybody that we share. Like we share air, okay? And we share space. When you get into a train, so many people have sat in the seat that you're sitting in, okay? So that's sharing, okay? We don't even think about it. We share air, like I said, you know? We share space. There's a lot of money is shared. I mean, nobody says, this is my money. I mean, I don't want to part with it. I mean, you know, we give it to the store and don't worry about it. We get our change back. And it's probably been over so many different hands. So that's another thing we share. So that's what the X and the Y and the Z is. It's something that we share. Because I don't want you to think it's part of a definition. The definition of X and Z, you have to pretty much catch it because it's a concept, okay? So, I don't want to, because this is X. You use this for X and you use this for Y, okay? But it's important that you don't, like for instance, let me see, quadrants are a right quadrant or natural quadrant, that's yours, okay? Your other quadrant is yours, but you cannot say that the other quadrant is a Y, okay? Even if you just use Y with your other quadrant, you can't say it. You'll learn about it later on why, because it's something that we all use, okay? So that's what I want to tell you. So now I'm going to try and do the zipper. Another thing too, I can only practice so much. I practice this a lot. Another reason why I don't practice, because it changes so much, okay? And remember when we were working with the squares all the time, and then the squares disintegrated, okay? And that could happen to, I don't know what's going to happen to the zipper, but now the zipper is very important, okay? And there was a lot of things that we worked with that we probably won't visit again or will visit it in a different way. But you needed that to get to here, to where you're at now, okay? It's just so weird. It's like I'm talking to people who are in the future or something, you know what I mean? Because this will go, I just don't know who's going to catch on. I wanted people to catch on because it would be a lot of fun to just do something with somebody who's actually who've done it for a long time, you know. I say that it's like, I don't want to say that. I said it before, and I'm not going to say that because the thing about it is we have to finish this class. And that was just something fun, but it's futuristic. It's very, very futuristic. Okay, so now let's tell you, now I'm going to tell you what the zipper is, and that's why it's good that I have it on landscape, because now I can move, you know, left to right or right to left. But you know, we don't lose left and right, okay? Okay, so I'm here, okay? And remember this, I gotta refresh your memory from the last class. Y, Z, Z, Y, Z, Y, Z, Y, Z, Y, Z, Y, Z, and then Z, no, not Y, Z, it's X, okay? That's good because, and you know it's not me. Like I said, the X and Y doesn't belong to you. So it might be it's a little bit harder to glue to a concept, to understand a concept. Okay, so we have Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X. And then you remember X, Y, 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 okay? Okay, so you got that, and that was scaling, okay? Now we're going to make a zipper, okay? Like I said, I couldn't practice it that much, and I know if I practice it too much, it's going to turn into something else because you get more knowledge. So that's why these concepts, I have to just kind of like do it a little bit for the lesson only. Okay, so now we're going to go into it. Okay, and remember we have to do the zipper. We're going to do a zipper. We're going to drop a skyscraper. We got the inkling, which I'm going to probably tell you at the end, and drop a skyscraper in linoleum, okay? So now I want to, maybe I could move this a little bit. I mean, it's not really on something, just to move it so that I can have more space, okay? It's a picture in there, an art picture, okay? So let's start from here, and we're gonna do Y, X. Now, I don't wanna say them, okay? Because the reason why I don't want to say them, I'm going to tell you the reason why I don't want to say them. Because in American yoga, you, like I said, you use your mind and your body, okay? And especially when you're learning, so that you can see what's happening, okay? If I said X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, okay? That's taking some of my attention away, which is not bad, but I'm doing this class. So I want to explain to you how important it is to really feel at this stage. I should talk about people who are at this stage, to really see what's happening. And in actuality, you're only moving, like I can say, one thing. I mean, your whole body's moving. Okay, and we don't talk about body because I'm not anything to do with Kuiper. I'm not anything. The reason why I don't talk about body, and I say this in this class a lot, is because it's in a different realm, okay? I'm the master of this realm because I created it, but I don't want to say, this is important for me to say. I don't say like your leg or your body because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a, how can you say, physical therapist, so I get that out right away. in this realm, I don't have to relate about any parts of my body. And I explained this in other YouTube. And it takes your attention off American yoga, okay? And you're doing something that it's in a different realm that people don't know about, okay? And in this realm, we don't speak about what's happening to your body. I mean, you actually have a body, but we don't do that. So I stay in my field. And my field is it's not like American yoga. I use that term, okay, but it's bigger than that. It's in a term of powers. Powers that we use all the time, but only we're able to manipulate them because we understand them. Now, what I wanted to tell you about this is that I'm moving one thing, okay? And you could tell because of the way my body's moving, okay? I mean, I'm just moving one thing, okay? And if you can see how my body's moving, okay, you can pretty much see that I'm moving one thing. So now let's get to the zipper. So we're starting here. Like I said, I'm not gonna say YX, but it would be, but I can talk about it like YX, 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 YX. Then I'm gonna go up one Z and then go YZ, YZ, YZ. I mean, no, XY, 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 and then I'm gonna go back on C, and that's gonna make the zipper. So I'm gonna show you now. Okay, so that's the zipper, okay? You got it? Now we're gonna do we're gonna drop a skyscraper, okay? Okay, to drop the skyscraper, I wanted to tell you that I'm just gonna explain it to you. So it's gonna be Z, like I'm gonna do a Z, X, Y, Z, Y, X, Z, okay? And then we're gonna come back down and complete the skyscraper. So let's do this. And then after we do it, we're gonna do something. I don't wanna tell you yet, so let's do this, okay? Okay, I'm gonna do it a little bit better because I should have been further back, okay? So now let's do it again. Wait. I gotta do it again. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Going back. Okay. Now that's the skyscraper. Now if you're doing it, I want you to drop it. Okay. Now what did I do? We did this. I did a few mistakes on the skyscraper, but when we finished the skyscraper, I told you to drop it. What does drop? So it's called actually drop the skyscraper. So what is dropping the skyscraper? It's just releasing it. You did it, and now you release it. Okay, it's done. Okay. So now I'm going to do the skyscraper, I'm going to drop it and then do it again, okay? Okay, drop it, and I drop the skyscraper. That's very important. So you had the skyscraper and then you dropped it. And what does drop it mean? Drop it means like you ever have somebody talking about something? Maybe it's most likely like you're in a relationship and maybe your girlfriend or your boyfriend is saying, but you did this and you did that and I saw you touch her and you touched her, then you looked at her very well. And then the man goes, drop it. And she drops it. Okay? That's what the drop it means. Now, if you notice something, we didn't drop the zipper. So, what does that mean? That means the zipper is still there. So I have the zipper and I can pretty much put the zipper anywhere I want to, but I have to start from the beginning. So let's say I start here and I want that the zipper that I did to be in back of me, okay? You just have to get it. I'm not going to explain it any further. It's very mind-boggling, okay? So even if I move back, the zipper is behind me, okay? The zipper that I did. I can put it in front of me, but I want to keep it in the back. Why? Because I didn't drop it. It's still with me, okay? So I'm going to make another zipper, okay? And I starting, and when I over here, I want to explain something, but I'm not going to explain it because you have to just get it, okay? So anyway, the zipper, the steps that I took are, and I'm in the place where that zipper is behind me, okay? Now I'm going to make another zipper and attach it, okay? So let's just say how can I do this? Should I step into? Okay. I don't know if I should do that. I have to make a decision. Okay. So let's just say that I was gonna, okay, I'm not gonna tell you what I was gonna do. Okay, so we have the zipper behind us. So I'm gonna make another zipper, okay? And you know it's done by Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, a Z, and then X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. So I'm gonna do it. Okay, so now we have two zippers, but I want to make another one, okay? I mean, I'm not dropping it, but I'm making another one. Oh, I don't want to go off the screen. Okay, so now, what did I do? I made 3 zippers. What does 3 zippers make? It's called linoleum, okay? I have 3 zippers and I have a linoleum, okay? It's not perfect now, but it's the concept that matters. It's kind of rough and it's kind of not straight or anything, but there's 3 zippers. So that means I can be in the first zipper and I can walk to the second one and to the third one. I can walk back, okay? I can walk over here. I can walk over the zippers. I can walk anywhere and still be in the zipper. And what do we call that? 3 zippers is called a linoleum. So that means I have a linoleum and I can walk through the 3 zippers. What is the linoleum made up of? 3 zippers. At the least, 3 zippers make a linoleum to where you can go up and back, and you have you're working you're in a linoleum, okay? So now let's go to inkling. What is inkling? Inkling is the movements. The movements that we make in American yoga are called inklings, okay? So my movements like this, it's an inkling, inkling, inkling. It's an inkling, it's an inkling. If we go like this, that's an inkling. It's an inkling. Why? Because we make very small movements, okay? No matter what, we're human, and humans make very small movements at a time. Even if I'm running, when I run, I can only go but so far. I can jump, okay, but then let's get into another type of inkling, okay? So we're not going there because we're not there yet. But basically, in American yoga, humans make very small inklings. And what to clarify even more the definition of inkling is in between a measurement. In each measurement, we have an inkling. So we move in inklings, and we also, the inkling makes up a measurement. Like if I move from here to here, it's an inkling. I move from here to here, it's an inkling. It's a lot of inklings. But if I go like this, I'm doing a lot of inklings at the same time. So if I go like this, that movement from here to here is an inkling, okay? It's something that we don't always talk about. So that's another power that we have that we never used in our life. I mean, probably we did it, but you know, wasn't able to learn it and manipulate it. But now that you know what an inkling is, so if I'm moving up in inklings. I'm moving back in inklings. And it's very important because that means that you have something inside of each measurement. So if I make a measurement from here to here, I measured in inklings. Inkling is not a measurement. An inkling makes a measurement, okay? So if I move my body from here to here, I moved an inkling, okay? So we did inkling, and I guess that's about the last thing that we had to talk about. Oh, it feels so good when I clear my mind of these exercises, because then I can go further and think about what's next. So I covered the inkling, I covered pretty much all the things that I had to do. Inkling was nice because, but I had to practice that one. I had to, because, I just had to make sure that I didn't lose that thought, because it's a very good thing, inkling. I could have called it anything, but like I said, the vocabulary comes from things that, most likely American or English-speaking people are very familiar with. Why? Because it's American yoga. So that's it for now, and I don't know if I'm going to make any shorts out of it, but I really do appreciate you staying. It's almost like I'm talking to people in the future, I don't know. But anyway, I hope people catch on to this, but I think it's going to take a long time. Anyway, thank you very much. See you later. Till next time.